Okay, I had to charge my phone for a couple of minutes, but I believe I last left off at Malcolm McDonald. So this time we have The Who with Quandophenia, released in 1973. My favorite album from The Who. This is basically a rock opera to say the least, like I usually do. Singles albums known for are The Real Me, 515, and Love Rain on Me. Yeah, very good album from The Who and shit like that. Classic album. Um, and then I got Atlantic Star, All in the Name of Love, released in 1987. Yeah, basically, it's kind of crazy because I got Atlantic Star playing in the background and shit like that. And this album was very different because this is around the time when Barbara came in the group. Yeah, and I believe this is actually their most successful album, if I'm not mistaken, and shit. But me personally, I prefer the Sharon era more. But it's all Atlantic Star. Singles album is known for, I think, was All in the Name of Love and Always. I remember that song Always. I first heard that song, instantly loved it. But yeah, very dope album. Then we have Stevie Wonder with Innovisions, released in 1973. Um, Dope album, classic. Maybe my favorite album from Stevie, but that's next to Songs in the Key of Life. Singles albums known for are um, Living for the City, Higher Ground, and I think All in Love is Fair. No, wait, Don't You Worry About a Thing. That was single. Yeah, love this album and shit like that. And it's crazy because he actually got in a car accident and stuff like that around the time the album was supposed to be released. I think 3 days after and shit like that. And a crazy story I heard was when he was in the hospital, he was in a coma, and I think one of his band members played like Higher Ground, and he just started like his fingers started moving to the music and shit. So it's crazy, but yeah, very dope album from Stevie. Continuing the Motown train, we have Rick James with Busting Out the 7-Eleven, his second album released in 1979. Classic album in my opinion. Singles albums known for are Busting Out, Fool on the Street, and I think Jefferson Ball was single. Yeah, this album, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this album though, and shit like that, but it is what it is. Dope album from Rick. Then on to his more popular album, Street Songs, released in 1981. Yeah, everyone knows about this album and shit like that. Um, Singles albums known for are Super Freak, Fire Me, Fire and Desire. I think that was single. No, wait, that was a song, but just made into a single. But Give It to Me, Baby, and I believe that those are all the singles. Yeah, very dope album from Rick James. Me personally, this is probably my third favorite album because my favorite album from him, surprisingly, I would have to say it was the Busting Out the 7-Eleven, then Garden of Love, then this album, and then his debut. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Rick James, especially during like the early '80s and shit. Then we have Gangsta Boo. Oh shit, hold on. We got Gangsta Boo of the 3 6 Mafia with Inquiring Minds, released in 1998. Let me see. Yeah, 98. Very dope album and shit like that. Gangsta Boo, definitely very a slept on MC, part of 3 6 Mafia. Inquiring Minds definitely is a dope album and things of that nature. Um, I think I can't think which the singles were. Let me see. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I think Where Them Dollars At and Yeah, I'm gonna do a review on this album one day, and yeah, sorry about that, but that's the thing about going live though. You're not here ill prepared. Jimi Hendrix, Access Bold as Love, released in 1967. My Probably one of his best albums and shit like that. I can't even pick a favorite one because they were all so dope. This album right here, you can tell like the songwriting was getting really better with this album. Singles albums known for are, I think if 6 was 9, and I think Cast Was Made of Stand was singles. Yeah, very good album from Jimmy. Then we have The Average White Band with AWB, released in 1975. Average White Band, you guys should know who they are. They are Scottish funk, soul, R&B group, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, single albums known for are Pick Up the Pieces. Yeah, I think Pick Up the Pieces was the only single, but yeah, very good album. I need to get some more of their albums and shit like that. Very funky shit. A lot of rappers sampled from this. Very underrated indeed. Then we have The Stooges with Funhouse, released in 1970. In my opinion, this is their best album. Iggy and the Stooges, you know, this album right here. The thing about this album that was crazy, it was a proto punk album, but they was like more jazzy and shit with it. So yeah, I think the only single that came off this album was Loose, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's crazy how almost everybody from the Stooges except for Iggy died and shit. So let's repeat them. King T, Act a Fool, released in 1988. All my West Coast heads should know about this album. Very dope album. It's highly considered to be a classic album from him. My opinion, I feel like his best album is For Life, but yeah, I'm gonna save that. Um, I I think the singles was Act a Fool. I want to say Bass though, but yeah, King T is definitely a very slept on MC and shit like that. Very slept on. Then we have Mr. Bobby Brown himself, the original king of R&B, as Whitney should say. Um, to be real, yeah, I heard the Trifling album. That was pretty solid too. Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cool, 1988. This is a very dope album from Bobby. Very good album. Probably my favorite album from him next to his Bobby album. Singles albums known for is Don't Be Cool, My Prerogative, Roni, Rock With You, Every Little Step. So yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're doing a movie on BET about Bobby Brown. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the production, L.A. Reid and Babyface. Oh my god, you guys should know how I feel about Babyface and shit. Fuck L.A. Reid, by the way. I gotta put my song on right quick. Alright, sorry about that. Then we have Lionel Richie's solo debut album, self-titled, released in 1982. Probably my favorite album from him, next to Can't Slow Down. Yeah. Singles album's known for. Tell Me, Truly, You Are. Yeah. Very good album from Lionel and shit like that. After Can't Slow Down, he did that Dancing with the Ceiling, which Dancing on the Ceiling was okay, but Then we got my girl Janet Jackson with Control, 1986. Damn, this is a dope album. Crazy thing is, like, The crazy thing is, I finally heard this album. I think like last year, the whole album and shit, and love this album. This album right here, very groundbreaking for us. Now, this is shit she was talking about on this album. The Control, no pun intended. Singles are Control, Nasty, What Have You Done For Me Lately, Pleasure Principle. Definitely love the way she looked around that time. Yes. When I Think of You, Let's Wait a While, and I believe funny how you stupid as hell. This nigga gonna say yummy. Funny how time flies. My Camp Low fans should know about that song. Yeah. This you can definitely hear the SP 1200 on this fucking album. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Very dope producers. One of my favorite producers of all time. I've done reviews on her album, so check them out. In my opinion, I feel like those are probably my favorite reviews I've done thus far. Mike Geronimo, The Natural, released in 1995. Yeah. This album right here, it's an underground classic as well. Like fucking Mike Geronimo. Let me just tell you young guys something. Before Irv rolled with Ja, he was rolling with Mike. Let's just leave it at that. Singles album was known for, then Wherever You Are, Master IC, Shit's Real, and I know there was another single, but yeah, this is a very, very good album. I love this album. Like, this is a classic album. I definitely expect a review on this album. She dropped the second album, Vendetta, back in 97, which very different from this one's more polished, but over the years, I kind of softened up to that album over the years, so expect when I review this album, definitely want to talk about Vendetta. Patti LaBelle with what's the album called? I'm in Love Again, yeah. Released in 1983. Hey, let me start. Definitely her breakthrough album and shit like that. Cause she been dropping solo albums like again since like the late 70s when LaBelle broke up, but it wasn't really get. It only got her notified like in the R&B charts, but singles album. I think the single, "If Only You Knew," love that song. Love, Need, and Want You. All my Nelly fans should know about that song. Yeah, very good album and shit. Philadelphia Soul at its finest. Then we got Frank Zappa with Apostrophe, released in 1973. Fucking love this album. This album, Overnight Sensation, Hot Rats, and yeah, I would say those three for right now, my top three favorites from him. I think the only single that was released from this album was Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. Yeah, very good album. Frank Zappa, you guys should know what you get into when you hear him. Then we have Roy Ayers with Vibrations, released in 1976. Roy Ayers, in my opinion, he is the godfather of neo soul, in my opinion. Very dope artist right here, like the way he plays the xylophone and shit like that. Very dope. Singles I'm known for are Searching. I believe Baby I Need his version of Baby I Need Your Love. And I think Vibrations. Vibrations, all my Big L fans should know about that song. Yeah, this is definitely a very good album and shit. I need to get my hands on Everybody Loves the Sunshine. I've seen that in stores, but I've been so lazy. Bootsy Collins, Bootsy's Rubber Band. Look, Bootsy's Rubber Band, Stretching Out, released in 1976. Very dope album, classic album. Bootsy Collins, you guys should know where you get into with him, and of course when you have George Clinton producing. Yeah. Singles I was known for are I'd Rather Be With You, Love, Physical Love. And I want to say Stretching Out was a single. Yeah. Very good, very dope album and shit. Love this album. Definitely my favorite. This one and his second album are my favorites from him. Then we have Funkadelic with One Nation Under a Groove. Love this album. This is definitely a classic album by many. Um, a lot of people have kind of went on to say this is like the greatest funk album of all time. It's my one of my favorites. I can't argue with that. Singles albums known for are One Nation Under a Groove, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Into You was a single. But my favorite song off this one was the Doodoo Chasers. Like, yeah, definitely expect a review on this album. Funkadelic. Then we have The Who live at Leeds, released in 1970. This was when they performed at the Leeds University. Very dope album right here, very dope live album. Um yeah man, it's The Who. You guys should know where you're getting into. Ohio Players Climax, released in 1974. This album was kind of like a compilation album and things of that nature, where it has some cover songs, it has some unreleased songs. So certain best known songs or the climax song, Sleep Talk, the cover version of What's Going On. Yeah, very dope album and shit. A lot of rappers sample from this project. Yeah, Black Moses, released in 1971. Yeah, very dope album from Isaac Hayes and shit like that. Probably my favorite album. This album was known for songs like Never Gonna Give You Up, his version of For the Good Times, the whole Ike's rap, which have been sampled by a lot of people. Alright, bro, just let me know. Yeah, very good album. Then we have Bob Marley with Kaya, released in 1978. This album was very different from his previous works up to that point. It was a lot more laid back, a lot more like chill and shit like that, and a lot of people weren't really used to that from Bob. I love this album. This is definitely a very slept on album. Singles albums known for are Is This Love? I believe Sun is Shining was a single. Satisfy My Soul, like very good album. It's Bob Marley. When he ever dropped anything horrible? Shaka Khan's solo debut album, Shaka. It's 1978. Very good album. Definitely a classic album by many. Singles albums known for are I'm Every Woman, All My Whitney Fans, you know about that. Damn. I forgot most of the singles though, but fuck it. Yeah. Very good album. Like if you like that kind of like that disco-ish funk, you'll definitely love this album. Then we have Shaka Khan, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan as Rufus. Um, this album was pretty good too. Yeah, this was a very dope album. Oh, was that's the dope thing about getting the vinyls. They had like the inner poster. So yeah, you know me and shit, but yeah. Um, I think Hollywood was a single and stuff like that. Hollywood and Everlasting Love. Yeah, very dope album. Then we have the Beatles, Abbey Road, released in 1969. My opinion, my favorite album from them. This is their official final album, not Let It Be, just to let everybody know. Singles albums known for Come Together, Here Comes the Sun, and Something. Those were the singles. Yeah, very dope album from the Beatles. Something is probably the best song George Harrison ever wrote for them. Okay, I'm just gonna speed through these quick because yeah. Okay, Rod Digger, Dirty Harriet, released in 2000. So glad I found this album and shit like that. Rod Digger, female MC from the Flip Mode Squad and shit like that. Oh, by the way, Steven, what's the name of her unreleased album again and shit like that? Let me know in the chat section. Yeah, singles albums known for are I think Break Fool was a single. Um, Yeah, I definitely have to re-listen to this and shit like that. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. A dope album. A lot of people kind of call it like a cult classic. It's out of print by the way. Sly and the Family Stone. There's a riot going on. Yeah, you guys should know how this album, 1970. This album literally changed everything by more darker themes and shit like that. The singles that was on this album, shit. Family Affair, yeah, Family Affair. So yeah, very good album. Fuck this. Then we have the Isley Brothers with The Heat Is On, released in 1975. Love this album and shit like that. If I'm not mistaken, no, Harvest for the World is their most successful. Yeah, this album was influential because like the first side is like all funk songs, and then the side two is like the more laid back shit and shit like that, the ballads. So next thing you know, almost every artist started using that method. Rolling Stones used it with Tattoo You. So yeah, very good album from the Isley Brothers. Just during the 3+3 era. There we got some Led Zeppelin with Led Zeppelin 2, released in 1969. Very good album and shit like that. They did this album while they were on tour supporting their first album. Singles albums known for are Whole Lot of Love, Living Loving Made, a song that Jimmy Page does not really like and shit like that. But yeah, very dope album and shit. Must have in your collection. Then we got Smokey Robinson with Being With You. What's your favorite album from them, by the way? 1981. This album was pretty good. It had that early 80s R&B kind of sound and shit like that, which I kind of like. The song Being With You was a huge single back in 81. I can't think of all the other singles at the moment, but yeah, very dope album. Then we have Ozzy Brothers with 3+3, released in 1973. Another good album and shit like that. Another good album. Yeah, that's a good pick. My favorites are House of the Holy and Led Zeppelin 1. Um, this album was like, you can kind of call it like their reincarnated era. Singles albums known for That Lady and Some Breeze, the cover song of the Seals and Crofts song. Because they added like their three younger brothers there and shit like that. So, I think Chris, Jasper, and Marvin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, very good album. And the last vinyl I have is Busta Rhymes Extinction Level Event, released in 1998. Yeah, man, very dope album. My favorite Busta Rhymes album. This album was definitely a very sick album. Single albums known for are "Give Me Some More," What's It Gonna Be. I came up with another single. Um, I want to say "Is They Wildin' With Us" and "Getting Rowdy With Us." Be a classic album, classic Buster. And those are all the vinyls I have in my collection. Thank you guys so much for watching and shit. Yeah, and I uploaded the R&B review of I was meant to upload and shit. So party over here. All right, appreciate it, bro. All right, peace. Have a good night.